Hello everyone. Today's video is about real motivation, real strength, real prayer, real confidence, and it's brought to you by Real Crazy in real time, real awkward life. So, are you wrong or is the world wrong for judging you? And what is dysfunctional to you? And must we be keeping up with how the world is changing? And why are people obsessed with time, past, history, antiques, and what is it that draws that certain group of people to the past? And yet there are people, so many people, making it a requirement to be absorbed in the present or the future. And why must we be knowledgeable on everything and study culture and pop culture and feel unintelligent for not wanting to know every actor, singer, producer, writer, country, city, sports team, sports rules, etc., etc.? Why are these all necessary? And why are we considered boring when we don't know these things? And why are we considered awkward because of this as well as because we have jack shit to talk about? Now, I will never understand why. And I have given up on trying to be interesting because this whole social rule is stupid and fucked up. So, save yourself. And apparently, if you want to be in this world, you have to teach your kids that they are accepted if and only if. And that they must learn not to be awkward later in life. And you can't really be who or what you want to be anymore. And who says you can be your own person, you know? It's not true. You listen to that and it's just like all these things that you think, but it's not realistic. There's certain ways you can live, but yet you won't be meeting others' expectations. And in the eyes of others, you won't be successful. But that's the difference. You can either be successful, but you have to be changed and kind of sculpted and molded into today's society, what today's society requires of you in order to succeed. And that success, that change has to be easy in order for you to be successful and happy together. Otherwise, it's just a choice of being happy or successful. And that's kind of where I'm at, is just no longer am I even attempting to be successful. As far as being really successful goes, I would rather be living in a slow-paced kind of slow-paced life and just be happy right now and then my experience and just other things, just time. I am going to rely on time to kind of bring like success. I mean, not just time, but and here I go. Hold on, I lost all concentration because the music stopped playing. Failed. Well, guess we're gonna go without music. Anywho, um, and this is actually going to be in the description of the video. And I'm sorry I can't cut out the 20 seconds or so of silence. And like I said, it's my videos are awkward, as awkward as I am, and I am very awkward. I actually went for an interview recently, and the job is supposed to be for someone who is very outgoing and has very good social skills, and that's just not me. In fact, I left them pretty much thinking, oh, how awkward is this guy? Like I'm sure when I left, and this is not just me being paranoid because I know for a fact that when I left, they were probably talking to each other and just going over how awkward I was when I was leaving. Um, and the thing is, I'm open, but it's just I have to be asked a question in order for me to actually talk about certain things. Because I will give honest answer. However, I don't just talk about anything and everything um, all the time. And now, um, I've, a lot of times I prepare just, in written text uh, for, for the interview and just for a lot of different situations. But after I write them, later I realize that I probably should not be reading that kind of stuff, let alone writing them. It's because as awkward as I am, the things that I write, because when I'm saying things to people in person, I already think about, is this, something that is practical? Is it something that is acceptable? How will they judge me? I kind of think about that before I speak, right? You're supposed to think before you talk. Um, because you don't want to look like an idiot or unprofessional or just all kinds of things. But to be honest, this last interview was not very for professional. It was laid back, and they actually needed someone who was equally laid back as well as outgoing, so that they can make 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 it as comfortable as possible for clients. So, anyways, I'm just gonna go over or read some things that I wrote down. Not necessarily for interview, but for a lot of different things. Just ideas and thoughts that just came to me here and there, and you will get an idea of the kind of awkwardness and craziness and whatnot that goes through my head. So here's something else. Okay, I have a really hard time talking bad about people or things because it feels wrong. And I'm so many different things, and it's like pieces of me are battling, and I can't lie. I do judge people, but then another part of me knows better, so I disregard the judgments. And I have a really hard time because not only am I good, but I have a hard time showing it. And the thing is, I look like someone who just does not care, because outwardly um, I think too much about how people judge me, and even looking too good makes me feel like I'm going to be very, you know, um, odd, come off as very odd. Because, I don't like being the center of attention. I gotta be honest, recently, like lately, I do like attention, but not, I've never been a big fan of attention. Like, I always am the one who tries to get by without being noticed, no matter in what situation. Um, so the thing is, um, I have a hard time because not only am I good, blah blah. Okay, I am pretty crazy. It's like I can leave my body, but then I'm screwed because I screw up my own life by zoning out of the real world. It's just like I don't belong, and sometimes I find that I don't care about anything. I've become numb from the feeling of pain because of feeling too much. The thing is, so it's like I'm not trying to feel anything at all. Just um, This is a very bad comparison, but it's just like I think it's Vampire Diaries. Um, the vampires, they can either kind of have a human side or they can so-called flip their switch and no longer feel emotions. Pretty much just become like a cold-blooded killer, and then they just go crazy and whatnot. But I mean, they no longer feel love or pain or any of that. It's just all good and is heightened. All that good is heightened. Um, so that's kind of what happens with me. And then life gets so difficult, and I get so confused, and it's just like a lot of times I can't gather my thoughts. And then, yeah, there's something else that I don't really want to get into. So, anyways, there was an interview, and it's just like I couldn't read what I prepared, and that's because it's freaking crazy. Writing, preparing, and especially reading something, um, and then anytime I write anything down and think about reading them in person, I realize I will either look like a damn fool or a complete lunatic. I mean, I am so dysfunctional, however, there has to be somewhere I can fit in, right? Nah. I think the way I think and act and am around other human beings, something is definitely wrong with me or the rest of the world. And I'm sure at some point in the past, people could have been quiet, not outgoing, a little bit awkward and weird, and still able to get by, and not be looked down or judged or seen as lacking or dysfunctional. And it's just like, why am I here? And then the thing is, I want to help people, and it's just like, sorry about, it's just like repeating. Anyway, why are people today becoming more and more crazy, stressed, hostile? And that's one of the biggest things, hostile. Like, even one day I was going to work and it's just, I go in and what I hear is that um, I think it was, yeah, it was Kia. The Kia plant had actually had a shooting, and that kind of thing, that's exactly an example because one guy got fed up with pretty much kind of being picked on, and so he took a gun and shot the guy. I mean, that's all of these things, crazy, stressed, and hostile. It's pretty much the same way that I don't fit in, and people are required to evolve and adapt with the times and be and act a certain way, and I will never find love because I am lacking. That's just how it is in today's world. This is so stupid. Why, um, which is why I felt like I didn't even want to live. And then it's just one moment. You see, the thing that happens when you feel this way is one moment you're doing something so insane and taking risks and living on the edge with no worry. And it doesn't matter how dangerous because you don't care if you die in this situation. And that's the thing. A lot of people want to die. They don't care. There's so many things that they would rather be without that they can just give up and leave and just exit. That's the option that they would choose if it were that simple. But then if you just stay in the next moment, you find a reason to live. Then you want to die again, but then you want someone to miss you. And this is how life goes. I've realized that everyone wants to always be at least someone's favorite person, no matter if you're aware of it or not, but you do. Everyone has that. unless you're lacking humanity. You're just not even human. You can be in a group of people, but it sucks to just be one of the group. I mean, you just have to stand out and you'll try anything and everything without even noticing each time you're trying something new, just to be different, to be seen. And a man once said, "It's nice seeing you, and it's nice to be seen." Those are truly wise words. At the time, I just smirked and thought in my head, wow, what a great line. It truly was. It didn't matter how ugly or how crazy the person was. Those words truly made me see this man in a deeper way, on a deeper level. I felt his presence and his good intentions, and I thank him today because he is allowing me to motivate others to be this way and have this sharing mentality. It is truly a gift. And now I know some people don't like religion and being, you know, people bringing God into their words and such, but I love God. And I mean, I absolutely love Him. My Father in heaven, my Savior, my strength. That is the most important thing to me, is that He gives me strength. I feel so good about what I do, and it is only possible through Him. And on that note, I want to end this video. Thank you for watching.
Buddy disconnect.